We all have those games from our childhood that take up a special place in our heart. For some, it might be memories of galloping across Hyrule Field. For others, it might be the thought of passing a controller between you and your sibling as you hop, leap, and jump your way through the Mushroom Kingdom. For me, well, my game from my childhood features a amnesiac man who looks like he got thrown into a blender with a bunch of rocks and shards of glass with a bad case of psychic powers. That's right. Today we're talking about Second Sight, the 2005 game made by Free Radical, creators of one of my favorite video game series ever, Time Splitters. But before we get into that, why don't I introduce myself? My name is... My name is... Oh God. Do I have amnesia now? Oh, I write my name on all my underwear, so I think I can just kind of give it a peek in. There we go. My name is Fruit of the Loom, and this is my review of Second Sight. It's Will Kane. If I were to describe this game in a phrase, it would be Metal Gear Solid, but somehow more psychic and more coherent. Which is funny because there is a character in Metal Gear Solid called Psycho Mantis. So like imagine him hearing that review and he's just like, wait, hold on. I'm supposed to be the most psychic dude in the PlayStation app. How dare you? I could even tell that you played Ape Escape.
You like Castlevania, don't you?
Or another way that I would maybe describe it is if somebody was like, man, I wish Jacob's Ladder really had more rootin', tootin', guns and shootin' in it. In less vague terms, Second Sight is a stealth action shooter starring John Vattic, who's a skeptic with a really bad case of amnesia and an even worse case of having psychic powers. It was published in August of 2004 for the PS2, Xbox, and my personal favorite little lunchbox, the Gamecube, which is what I played the game on for this review. And I did a full walkthrough of the game with commentary, so if you hear another me without me being here, it's probably that guy. Everybody. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering, Second Sight? Whatever happened to First Sight? And you're trying to get us in on the sequel? Well, I don't know about him. What the fuck? I don't know if he's that good of a gamer. Hey, I can hear you. I can hear you up there. Like, that's awkward. I know it wasn't a good joke, but awkward. Like, I thought we were supposed to be working together, man. Yeah, we are working. Why are you dragging me down like this? I'm not dragging you down. It's just you didn't have a good joke. It wasn't a very like I thought. I knew the joke wasn't that good, but I just wanted to fill the silence. Okay, this is just kind of how it goes when you're recording a session. I'm by myself right now. What are we doing? It's hard. Okay, quality. You got all the advantages, man. You're already in the future. Yeah, I'm just here, and I'm already in the future, so I know how much you suck at this. You suck at it. Yeah, that's right. You suck at this. Come on. I know it's hard. I know it's tough.
What was my password again? Was it Furry Lover 69? No, it couldn't be that. Maybe it was Furry Till I Die. No, I don't think it was that either. What was it?
Yeah, let's start it up. John Vattic, which I think is the name of the main character, but I'm gonna Madden. There we go.
What you got there? Shit, is this guy a mess or what?
He's a psycho killer.
Psycho killer? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
That's classified. Hey, Doc, more monkey juice over here.
Oh, yes.
Be careful with that one.
I could see that he needs a little bit more monkey juice.
Hold his arm a moment.
Say banana. The game immediately gets into the psychic part of its pitch, and before you know it, you're sneaking around the facility, unlocking new powers, and figuring out the mystery of how you got locked in here in the first place.
You're the guy that just wanted them to put a bullet in my head, huh? Well, look who's laughing now. You got punched twice and died. And now look at you. You're floating through the air like a idiot. Get out of here. Get into this room. Get out. I'm sick of you seeing your face.
This includes flashbacks to the Siberian military mission that you were on where you got amnesia. And our hero, John Vattic, is a professional skeptic? I don't know how you get that job. That's like a Discovery Channel, Ancient Aliens kind of job.
Any other questions?
How did the U.S. approve anything so politically risky?
That's classified.
Well, then how did you confirm psychic research?
Also classified.
Then why do you want me here?
But don't worry, before we send the civilian into a very dangerous mission with a special forces team of various ages, ethnicities, and cartoony accents.
Come on then, Vattic, get yourself over here.
Hey there, Vattic. We are the full Predator squad, and you best believe we're gonna fucking eat it by the end of this video game.
Right,
Hey,
Jackson is the name.
Jackson?
Let's get to
Okay,
work.
that was... It was either going to be Tex or Jackson, let's be honest.
So I think about a day's worth of training should be good. That would be, yeah, please put them on the front lines. Why not after a single day?
Look, I'm glad to be of help, but one day's notice is barely enough time for me
We're
to get
out
on.
of time, Dr. Vattic. Can you handle a sidearm?
They said my role
Can you
was
shoot
strictly
people?
advisory.
Then advise yourself to get some weapons training. My squad doesn't nursemaid tourists.
I'm in a squad now?
We'll explain it all at the briefing. 1800 hours. Be there.
This is not what you want to hear as a contractor.
John's flashbacks will also affect the present as well, as he saves people in the past that are now alive in the present,
John,
or learns new information to help him out. But honestly, we can get more into the story stuff later in the review. I think we have enough of a bedrock now that we can talk about how this puppy plays and get into the gameplay of it. I already compared this game to Metal Gear Solid, and I do think that bears repeating because there's a lot that's similar between these two games. And not just because they're both stealth action thriller games. Both games feature a fixed, movable, and first-person camera modes. Both feature a UI system where they have weapons on the vertical and abilities/items on the horizontal. Both games have a tranquilizer gun that if you headshot people, you immediately send them to the slumber zone. And both have a kind of noise to them with a very similar aiming system from both games. But let's be honest, gang. If you're gonna steal, you better steal from the best. And Metal Gear Solid rules, so it doesn't really matter that they had a lot of, let's say, similar ideas in this game to Metal Gear Solid. And speaking of the fixed camera, it sucks. It sucks in this game so bad. Every time I tried to go to it, because I was like, oh, this will have a cool camera angle. Maybe like I would forget every single time that it sucked, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what cool camera angle. And a lot of the times they are cool cinematic little camera angles that they would give. But also most of the time it would make the game harder to control, and also enemies would just shoot you off screen like, God damn it. Second Sight does benefit from the passage of time, though, in this regard, because it gives you a big polygonal cursor so you can really line up headshots. And as you could probably tell from my high score on the shooting range, the shooting of this game is really easy to game. And, like, it's not a very hard system. It auto-aims on their torso, so if you aim a little bit higher, then it's headshots every time. Just torso, headshot, torso, headshot, torso, headshot. If you played Red Dead Redemption or GTA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's easy to do in training, but
sorry.
I might have had a little bit of trouble in practice. Second Sight also has the sneaking around part of Metal Gear Solid, but unlike Metal Gear Solid, the AI in this game isn't, well, it isn't the brightest.
Not again! Whoa, did you hear that?
You go check it out.
Why do I have to go?
Because I'm telling you to. What is it with all the questions?
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm going. Make sure you watch my back.
Oh, man. Immediately walks away, not watching his back.
What?
Time to die, random guy.
Oh man, I've taken another life.
Oh well.
And you can tranquilize guards, like I already stated, but there's no morality system keeping track of this, like the River of Sorrows in Metal Gear Solid 3 that'll like keep track of who you killed. The only difference between a dead guard and an alive but asleep guard is that the dead guard has a big pool of blood beneath him that you can actually, you could walk through and it'll leave like bloody footprints, which I know for a fact there was a developer who was just like championing this and he's just like, we gotta get in the game. And they're like, is it gonna like improve gameplay? Like if our guard's gonna follow the trail? And they're like, absolutely not. It's just gonna look
How am I still
sick as hell. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter whether they're dead or alive because they both get sent to the great beyond courtesy of the opacity slider.
Okay, I'm coming to find you.
But God forbid if you alert the guards, because every guard within your 10-mile vicinity is going to know your pinpoint location, and then like an enraged ant colony, they're just going to send a stream of guards at you until either you die or they can't find you anymore. Which, there are ways to re-enter stealth, whether going invisible, or using your other powers, or going into a locker alien isolation style.
Is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Can I hide in here? Is it gonna work? Oh, they're gonna yank me out. Well, that gets you a good old punch and a good old bonk. Are you fucking kidding me with these guys?
Or just turning off the alarm yourself, which you can do. You can just go up and boop, no more alarm, guys. Hey, actually, I talked to Dave. It's not that big of a deal.
He's gonna get knocked out eventually, and when he does, he'll look like a fool. See?
Good work, everyone.
Good work, guy who just got knocked out. Anyway, I think we're all good.
But more often than not, the absolute Congo line of baddies will just keep on coming to your location until you just die. You just have to die and you have to go back to an earlier save point, and that couldn't be that bad. I mean, when's the last time I saved? Are you kidding me? That's the last save point? Contrasting that, some of the missions are pew-pew kind of shoot-em-up missions, where you have to kill all the enemies in order to move on. But the game has a little bit of a miscommunication issue with that, because sometimes you will go into a mission area and there will be areas that the enemies come from, and there's a set amount of enemies that you have to kill, and then you can move on. Except sometimes you didn't complete an objective, my friend. Bad boy. And instead of informing you of that, the game just makes those spawners infinite spawners, and so you'll just be caught in an endless wave after wave of bad guys. And my gamer brain goes, I'm making many children orphans right now, therefore I must be making progress. Except you didn't hit like a switch, or you didn't get a key or something like that, and so the game doesn't tell you that. Like, I was in a never-ending tide of Russian goons, and then I went back and I had to talk to my squad, and then when I came back with my squad, then the cloning machine apparently broke, and we could kill all the guys and move on. But I didn't know that, and I fought them for like good 5-10 minutes before I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong area. This is not good. I shouldn't be here. The game is linear, mostly with self-contained levels where there's only one real way to go and one solution to the problems. And yet I still found myself backtracking a lot, usually out of confusion. Most of the objectives are things like pulling levers. Pulling a lot of levers, actually. Accessing computers to turn off cameras, progress the plot, and look at people's emails.
Ground floor.
Anyone here?
Hey, stop right there. Hold on. Stop. Wait a second.
Get down to the ground.
That guy's a better psychic.
Stop that.
He's talking without moving. Whoa! That was 100% the voice actor yelling at himself. Hyper chat. Hell yeah, let's get into hyper chat. Got another few hours here, need to pick up some groceries on the way back. Hang on, coming back in a bit. The elevator's coming, and I don't want to get caught chatting. Okay, love you. Can't wait to see you. Wish you were here with me. Miss you. Hello. Of the guy I just killed. They're trying to make me feel bad about the guy I killed oh no, in the cutscene. I killed the guy in the cutscene. It wasn't me, bunny. It wasn't me.
As well as just some good old-fashioned murder to get keys off of dead bodies. Because I think I was supposed to, like, charm this guy to get the key off of him, but it wasn't working, so, sorry, fella.
All right, I got the key. That was good enough.
How are the psychic powers, though? They are the game's distinguishing feature, after all. I ended up utilizing the powers a lot more than when I played as a kid, and it ended up being, like, my favorite part of the game. For example, have a group of enemies that's ready to ambush you. Why not project a force ghost of yourself out to scout the way, and also maybe even possess one of the enemies and just open fire on his buddies? Want to fling people around with telekinesis? Why not? Go nuts! It's funny. Like, why not? You can even do Looney Tunes bits on people.
That was...
Go invisible. Fuck up that one guy in particular. Heal yourself. Heal yourself a lot, actually, because you could just kind of keep healing and healing if you have magic power, even if you're in combat. So sometimes you get into like a war of attrition that you cannot win. Heal yourself. Heal your teammates. Have a group seizure. The abilities are so varied and so useful, and they're also used for puzzles, so you have to bend your brain just like a little bit to understand what ability they want you to use, and it just all kind of works together and gives the game the identity, and a lot of the fun of the game comes from the powers, so I don't really know how to describe Free Radical's art style. Angular? Big cheekbones? Crazy eyes galore. They wouldn't look out of place on Easter Island. A lot of different ways to describe it, but they kind of went with a more low poly stylized look that they carried over into Time Splitters. And it might be nostalgia talking, but I gotta say, I think it kind of holds up. I think it doesn't hold up. Let's be honest, it doesn't hold up, but I think it's aged better than a lot of its contemporaries. Because a lot of the contemporaries were trying to go for like actual realism, and none of them did particularly well.
It wouldn't be surprising to see them hook up a few times in this one.
With the exception of like Metal Gear Solid 3, but that's, as we already established, top tier. So like if your competition is that, then yeah, it's not gonna go well.
This is a terrible apartment. There's a single bookshelf next to the bed, one frame photo, and then a couch facing the bed. No TV, no nothing.
I think they landed in a better place. They kind of just chose their side of the uncanny valley and stuck to it, where they're like, yeah, we're just gonna be up here, where their contemporaries just fell straight into the uncanny valley. And I personally like it, but I would not be surprised if you all looked at this and went, this is ugly as shit. Like, this is so bad. I would understand. I wouldn't understand, though, if you said that the animation was bad, because Free Radical really has animation just locked down. It's just top tier. The facial animation is great. A lot of the characters, just because it has more of a stylized look, they're a little bit more cartoony, and so they have a little bit more rubberiness in their face, and they can push it a little bit further. Except for in-game cutscenes, they just kind of do a ba 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 with the in-game cutscenes, and the death animations are just the best, because they carry that over to Time Splitters, where every enemy when they die is trying to get an Oscar nomination. Like, it's amazing, where they're just like, hey, tumbling down a hill, where they're just,
yeah, sure, die. Whoa, yes, dude, this is so cool. Am I supposed to? Honey, it's Christmas Day. I'll be right there. He makes me laugh because he like goes so fast and then.
The soundtrack is mostly fairly basic ambiance music, with a little hint of GoldenEye thrown in for good measure. It's a perfectly good soundtrack for the game, perfectly fitting for the source material, and also perfectly forgettable. I could not tell you a single part of the soundtrack Except for the alert music, I have a lot of experience with the alert music, and if you're bad at stealth, you better get used to it.
Haha, I think I've been here before.
Well, probably it's an interrogation. This this f***ing music.
Speaking of sound effects though, my brain is just so broken from playing so much Time Splitters that I can't help but like listen to every single sound effect and every voice actor and being like, that's from Time Splitters, that's from Time Splitters, including like all the voice cast, because it seems like they only have like 5 to 10 people that they just used for their games, including like Cortez is the Colonel in this, so he just kind of got typecast as Army Man, I guess.
Yeah, it's time to split. The facility under the village?
As well as the guy who just will always do a weird Chekhov from Star Trek Russian accent that just it makes me laugh every single time.
I know, but they've got this stupid idea that freaks in there are still, well... Still what? Human? They are children. Can't even bring yourself to say it. Look, back off.
If you thought the game sounded interesting in any way, I would recommend playing it. I think it is worth a playthrough. It's only 6 to 8 hours, so it's a great like weekend game because you can get through the entire thing really quickly. But from this point on, I'm going full speed ahead with spoilers, so... Throughout the game, you go between the past and the present, saving the group's psychic Jane Wilde from being exploded in the past, and then saving her from an asylum in the present by going through an obligatory sewer level. Similarly, you have to save the Colonel from the Men in Black by getting the help of some 2004-ass gangsters. And so you get to the point in the game where the Colonel dies, no. Jane gets kidnapped, and now John has to break into a secret government organization's headquarters in order to expose their psychic experiments for the world to see, both from the past and the future.
Can I help you?
I'm here to see Director Hansen.
And you are?
John Vattic.
You just gave the full name? We're doing the Matrix thing?
Oh my God, he has a Fur Affinity account. And he's the top user. Oh!
I guess you've heard of me.
He even learns about Russian experiments taking place in the Russian village he was invading with his military force, where they took kids and did experiments on them. And it's all in an effort to create, say it with me, a bunch of genetically engineered super soldiers. It was 2004, gang. It's not exactly groundbreaking, but honestly, it works for this. It's fine. And we get to the final showdown, and, well, things aren't looking too good for old Johnny Boy here.
Whoa! Oh, whoa! Holy shit. Oh, okay, he's about to shoot me. Can I trank him? I don't want to kill this guy.
Don't waste your fuel, fool. Gunfire cannot hurt me.
Really? Because it seems to be doing okay.
And then, boom! Plot twist. All the segments that you thought were actually in the past are actually the present.
What?
And all the parts that were in the present are actually in a possible future. So instead of flashing back the entire time, you've been flashing forward. Can't lay an unwinnable trap against me in the present if I kill your ass in the past with a bunch of mutant children.
You nasty children always have sticky hands. Oh,
oh wow, they are really messing him up, aren't they? They are wow. Not even using their psychic powers. They're just kind of ripping him apart. And you know what? This does feel like a step back because they tried to humanize these kids. So for them to go full like feral monster mode on him does feel a little bit like, oh, okay, well, at least we killed him, right? Yay! And then we get to fly off into the sunset with Jane and, I don't know, kiss her on the lips. Second Sight is a pretty short game, so pretty easy to pop in and play through. I ended up playing over 3 sessions over a couple of weeks, and every time I saw that I was going to be playing Second Sight on my schedule, I had like a little feeling of like, oh, can't wait. Like, that'll be fun. I can't wait to hop back in, which is honestly as good of a review as you could ever get for a game like this. The annoying parts weren't annoying enough to drag the game down, and while the gameplay was a little bit dated and clunky, the inventive and fun parts still shone through and made the game a fun experience. So I give this a worth checking out of 10. What did you think, Past Me?
Yeah, it was a fun game. I liked it.
Hey, I just wanted to say sorry about the beginning of the video.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I figured that if you're this much of a prick, that having to deal with yourself is more than any punishment that I could give you.
You know we're the same person, right?
Oh, shit.
And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my future videos. And also, the ones that I already did, those are just hanging out there waiting for you to watch them. And also, while you're on the road, you might as well do a little sojourn over to Segment City, the podcast that I host with my good friend Theo. And it's a variety podcast. We talk about a bunch of things, and you can enjoy content just like this.
Theo, have you ever heard of combat juggling?
Yes, come on. I need this in my life. This is something that I want clowns out there punching each other.
Next time, looks like you're going to have to see what I do next time. All right, bye.